There's no rocket science attached to waste management. It's very simple, but lots of hard work. And I think that's what scares people also.
With me today is Mr. Pradeep Sangwan, who is the founder of Healing Himalayas, a foundation that works in the Himalayan ranges and conducts cleanliness drives, collects the waste generated there, and then turns it into another successful story that we'll get to know in a few minutes from now on. He has also been hailed by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who in his Mann Ki Baat episode in 2020 appreciated the efforts of the foundation and Mr. Pradeep for his conservation efforts for the environment. Sir, thank you so much for joining. It's a pleasure. How does it feel to be appreciated by the Prime Minister of the country?
Amazing, I guess, because the first person of our nation, after the president, and who recognize our work and appreciate it. So it clears a lot of roadblock for us actually, and people who are not ready to address the issue. I think they are sort of collaborating with us now after his mention in Mann Ki Baat. So yes, a lot of motivation also for me and for my team as well, because coming from the Prime Minister, it's a big thing for us. So yes, it is always motivating and always it kept us going basically. So every now and then we need that kind of a push. So yes.
Your Twitter bio basically says, and I quote it, recycled 800 tons of waste from Himalayas, currently building waste collection centers across Himalayas. Could you please elaborate on this?
So the waste that I mentioned in my bio is being collected through the cleaning drives. And the facilities that I'm talking about, waste collection centers or material recovery facilities. So these facilities, we started setting up those facilities in 2020, actually, during COVID time, when people were more free and very comprehensive to the idea that, every village should have a waste management system. So, and they were free of the tourism also. There was no tourism. So, that was in a way, I can say that it was a very good opportunity for us to connect with the local communities. When I started, we started from a small campaign, trekking for a purpose. Actually, people travel, trek, but their purpose is to enjoy themselves. Nothing in return for the nature or the beautiful ecology, Himalayan ecology. So that's why I thought, let's come up with a platform wherein people can come and be a part of something meaningful. And beyond that, these facilities. So once we collect the waste, there was hardly any location to sort of store the waste or segregate it further and then eventually transport it to a recycler. So that's why these facilities came into the picture. And currently we have 5 such facilities. And in those 5 facilities on a daily basis, we collect about 4 to 6 tons on a daily basis. So that 800 ton was only collected from the cleaning drives. The rest, since last year, June first week, our 5 facilities were operational. And from then, we started collecting 4 to 6 tons on an average, on a daily basis, actually. So, yeah, we can sort of calculate that how much waste we have collected.
So here I have 2 important questions. First, why did you particularly choose the Himalayan ranges, the Himalayan areas? And second is that you have mentioned you have 5 facilities. Now, could you please elaborate on how does the process begin? Like you go, drives are formulated, drives are conducted. Then you people, how many people are there? What is your team? How many are there in your team? What does the team basically do? What is the process? Could you elaborate on these 2 things a little?
So the first question, I really love Himalayas and trekking and traveling. So that's why this particular destination. I am originally from Haryana, but this is my Karam Bhumi actually. And yeah, since 2009, I'm here. And I've been traveling, trekking, and at a certain point, I realized I've been taking so much from the Himalaya, lots of joy, happiness, lots of good memories, but at the same time, nothing in return. So that's why, this platform came into the existence. Now, secondly, the facilities that we have created. We identified locations in Himalayas, Himachal Pradesh especially, wherein the tourism footfall is quite substantial, beyond 5 lakhs, 6 lakhs. And that's where, these facilities were required. And the communities were just collecting it, dumping it, open air burning, sort of, landfilling it, or maybe, channelize it through a river and send it to the plain areas, Haryana, Punjab, Delhi, NCR, wherever the river goes. So that was the only solution. So we thought, why not, introduce circular economy in the rural areas. Although the local rural community, they are the best example of circular economy, but in terms of waste, it wasn't there. So we thought, let's set up these small scale facilities, these material recovery facilities. For me, the importance of a material recovery facility is equal to a temple, a school, a primary healthcare center, or a college in a community. So we need to address this. We need to give equal preference to these material recovery facilities or waste collection centers within a community, especially wherein the tourism footfall is substantial. So we started building that, and you know, another thing that I don't have a background in solid waste management or any scientific disposal or recycling, etc. But we know how to utilize those education or those solutions available, how to implement that, and we kind of figured out things because we faced a lot of practical problems while implementing those issues. So material recovery facility, we first facility came into the existence in 2020 in a very remote village called Chitkul and Raksham, wherein we handle a very small amount of waste on a daily basis, but it is enough to sustain one livelihood actually. So collecting waste, making money out of it, using it for the community, and I think it's a win-win situation for everybody. This will promote tourism also because the village is very neat and clean. There's no open air burning, there's no dumping sites in the village, and the waste is being managed and waste is being recycled, and there's a value created through it, and somebody's livelihood depends on it. So this is how we are doing it. We train the local community how to manage a particular facility, then we move on to the next location, replicate the model, and then we move on to the another location. So yeah, currently, the third question is currently we have about in all our facilities and including people who work, in the admin aspect, we are about 30 odd people who are working and, sustaining our livelihood through collecting the waste, selling it off, and also through, some support from corporates.
This has been
India, the
interesting.
biggest challenge in India or globally, I think, is nobody is collecting the waste. Nobody is looking waste as a material, or nobody is looking forward to add waste into a value chain, and especially in a topography like Himalayas. So it is very difficult to collect, segregate, and further send it out for recycling. So we have tie-ups with the recyclers across Himalayas, Himachal Pradesh, or nearby cities such as Chandigarh or Delhi. So whatever we collect, we segregate in a way, according to the recyclers' conditions. We segregate it further, and we generate maximum benefit out of it because we follow the guidelines given to us by the recycler. That this is how you need to segregate the waste so that you can generate maximum value out of it. Now the problem with this model is that the only problem with this model is the transportation, because our locations are very remote and these cities, because most of the recyclers are based out of cities. So in the third phase, maybe we would like to set a small scale recycling centers so that we can generate, more livelihoods out of it. But as of now, because of the very minimum quantity that we collect on a daily basis, that is only 5 tons a day. So once we are at 20 tons a day, maybe then we'll start our own small scale recycling facility, because the composition of the waste that we collect, especially the dry waste, majorly we collect a lot of glass bottles. Out of 100%, almost 40 to 45% is glass bottles. 20% is RDF, which is not reusable, which goes to a cement plant. 30% is rest of the material. So, or 20%, I guess. So this is how. So, and considering lots of tourism, the waste composition changes. Lots of PET bottles, which can be recycled, which can be converted into polyester, t-shirts, clothes, shoes, etc. And so again, so this is how we are building a supply chain. We as a community or the organization, we organize lots of cleaning drives. Whatever we collect, we send it to our facilities, which are owned by us, and then we segregate it further and transport it to a recycler once we have 7 to 8 tons of material ready for with us.
I was going to ask you, of the waste that is collected, what is the maximum of type? What kinds of waste are collected? You just mentioned plastics and cement. Glasses are a lot of those kinds. Can you quickly elaborate more on this? Like what all the kinds of waste that you generally collect?
So mainly glass bottles is the biggest nuisance that we have.
Okay.
And yes, so From a city or a village, it's easy to collect but from a track route, collecting the glass bottles and bringing it back to the base is not possible for us
So
because
I have
it's
a
very
so is it very difficult also to recycle glass because of the colors and other things?
Yeah. So we have to segregate it according to the color. So, transparent, green, brown. So multiple colors that we have. I wish all the companies who produce glass they come out with a one bottle color bottle. It will be very easy for us. Recently, I think one of the green PET bottles was taken away, and how much footprints that have reduced in terms of segregation, in terms of recycling. So a lot of a small step from a company's point of view. I know they might be thinking of from the marketing point of view that we have a different color and blah blah blah. But the thing is that it makes life easy for recyclers and also easy for the beautiful planet that we have. So we, time and again, we collaborate for cleaning drives to set up material recovery facilities or to make any material recovery facility sustainable. So, setting up a facility is easy, but making it sustainable, up and about, operational, self-sustainable is very difficult. So that's where we collaborate a lot. So in the future also, we are going to collaborate for, large-scale facilities. The handling of the operations is the biggest task. If you'll see most of the waste management sites that we have in bigger cities also, you'll see a huge mountain of garbage, mixed waste. So the biggest failure that we have in our community is nobody is segregating the waste, and that's where we come in as an organization. That we go door to door, we educate the municipal corporation council workers, especially the development authority workers, that how to collect segregated waste, how exactly you can pitch in, what are your technical aspects into it, or how exactly you can monitor, but because most of the time nobody is willing to segregate the waste, nobody is willing to collect the segregated waste. Whatever comes in, they'll take it as it is. So that's where we collaborate, that's how we work.
Constantly mentioning about auditing the trek route. How can that be done?
So we can set up a team at the entry point, and we can hire certain people who are into basic and advanced courses, who have done advanced mountaineering courses. They can check if they are carrying a liquor bottle. They can politely ask them, while coming back, you can take it back from us. Or if we don't have that legal authority to stop anybody from taking liquor bottles, then they can take it to the certain point, but while coming back they have to showcase that they have brought the empty bottle back. So this is how we're trying to, and we'll charge certain fees to manage this operational aspect, maybe 30 rupees, 50 rupees, which is okay for a traveler tracker who is coming all the way from Delhi, Bombay, Maharashtra, wherever. So, and then these people who are auditing as well, they can do rescue operations as well because they are trained enough. So if somebody is stuck at a track route, we give them certain points that somebody can do them walkie-talkie, they can be connected. So yeah, so multiple things can be done. Also along the route, we can do some beautification. We can revive those dying springs. People can refill their water bottles from there because it is a natural water body, and there's nothing harmful about it. So we can also you know put some signages that this is a drinkable water. You can refill your bottle, and somebody is not carrying a metal bottle, we can always give it to them at the point that you take this, buy this from us, use it for rest of your life or whatever, and then make our track routes healthier in those formations. So yeah, this is the prime idea. Some part of the money might go back to the local communities and can be utilized for the waste management systems. And every track route at the foothill, they should have a waste collection center or material recovery facility. The track route and the villages around that track route should dispose of their waste with that material recovery facility. So this is a complete ecosystem for waste management at the higher altitudes. This is how most of the, if you go to Bhutan also, Nepal also, there are certain track routes. That's how they are managing their waste. That is the one thing. Secondly, how to minimize while traveling trekking. So we can tie up with the local dhabas, shopkeepers, camp owners, that how not to give these single-use plastic cutleries, etc. And what are the replacements to that. So we can engage with them. So this is the way forward for us. That's how we would like to see our track routes in Himalaya.
The ministry is also engaging in a lot of cleanliness drives and waste collection drives, especially the Ministry of Youth Affairs. and through Fit India movement they have done. Even PM Modi has shown us the example of plogging. So these kind of leadership qualities and leadership initiatives by the ministries, by the government, how is it so? Does it inspire the people? How can it be useful for the people?
At least it confirms our idea that whatever we are doing, it is aligned with the state or the central government, and it gives us a lot of positivity also. That when our prime minister wears a recycled jacket, so people who think that it is not doable, it is not people, they start believing in it. So they can address the idea that plogging is a good thing, not just for the planet but also for your health. Just to pick up 1 kg of single use plastic thrown away on a road or on a mountain area, you have to bend down for 400 to 450 times. So that's a good exercise, that's a good surya namaskar, I would say. So do it once in a while, and if the prime minister is saying, then people will believe it also, because that is the way forward for our community. We have been the oldest civilization, I would say. And if we visit those civilizations, Mohenjo-daro, Harappa, and everything, you'll see that there's a proper streamlining of everything in terms of waste management. I know that there was no plastic back then, but now we have certain technologies that they didn't have. So let's utilize it. Let's use the environment that is being created by our central ministries, different ministries. And I see a lot of activities now. Every now and then, different ministers coming out, being a part of cleaning drive, blogging, etc. So why not use that? Why not take it as a positive response from the central ministry? They can't come to your houses and clean it, so you better learn it from them and do it yourself. And if you are able to do it, each one teach 10, I guess. So teach your neighbors. The most difficult thing to do in our society, to teach our neighbors. But yeah, try, give it a try, and you'll learn a lot of things about your neighbors also.
Also, on an individual level, on our day-to-day basis, how can we use the waste that we are generating, like vegetable waste or any other waste, on individual level?
Mm. So, see, in the urban area, the biggest problem is again wet waste. And if we start composting, I've been composting it for so many years, like just give 5 to 10 minutes every day to composting, and it is okay. And you can make your own manure. There are so many good things, so many good technologies, so many good companies who are providing you these solutions. Although these can be made at the home also, at home also. But yeah, start releasing the pressure from the municipal corporations. Start managing your own waste. Start with organic waste, food waste. That's the first thing that any individual household can do. And rest of your waste can be treated properly if you segregate your waste. The 60 to 65% in urban areas, it's wet waste only, and rest is dry waste. Dry waste can be easily handled if you don't mix it. Segregation is the core of everything, and after that, everything is managed or manageable. And then once you start doing managing your waste, then start putting pressure on your society or the municipal corporations that you are in, and ask them what exactly they are doing with the waste that they've been collecting. And because anyways you need fresh air, so no, you don't want dumping site nearby your house. So this is the way forward. And lifestyle changes are important. In cities, I see lots of e-commerce businesses happening: Zomato, Swiggy, Amazon, Flipkart. Everything is at your doorstep. But try and avoid that. Food coming into your house in a plastic container is not very healthy. So that's one thing. So start cooking yourself first. Once in a while, it's okay. Like when you feel like you crave for something, then go out and eat. Don't really become habitual of ordering food. Go out and shop. Shop in bulk. So certain lifestyle changes can release a lot of pressure from the carrying capacity of our planet, which is reducing in numbers every year. We are supposed to reach by the mid of the year, but we are reaching in the first quarter itself nowadays. So that will reduce a lot of pressure from the planet Earth, also the limited resources that we have. So simple steps. What I am doing is very simple. I'm a simple man trying to change the world in the most simplest way. So that can be done by anybody else also, and wherever, irrespective of your location. And if you feel like participating with us, come down, travel with us in a very sustainable way. You'll learn a lot of things, good things, and learn it and take it back with you, and try and implement that learning into your day-to-day routine. Change that lifestyle, become the shepherd of your lifestyle, and that's how the that's how world can change. So very simple things again, but in the fast-moving world, developing to developed nation, we are not focusing on the simple aspects of life.